Greetings, YouTube. I want to put forth an idea, nay, a challenge, that every time for the rest of your life that you feel a need to refer to Cisgender Musk, refer to him as Cisgender Musk. Make sure that Cisgender Elon Musk always knows that he's cisgender. Just never let up on it. Just keep referring to him as Cisgender Musk. Because you see, cisgender isn't a slur. Cis isn't a slur. It's a descriptor. And if you have a problem with the particular terminology, cis and trans, blame the Romans. It's not a new bit of terminology. It's been around for a really long time. It's just a descriptor. And the reason he's upset about it, he being Cisgender Musk, is because they consider the bigots trans to be a slur. And so if trans is a slur, then the opposite of trans, when applied to them, must also be a slur, because they despise the concept that a targeted group will use its agency against them. If you're going to call us trans, which is true, we're going to call you cis, because it's also true. These are not emotionally laden words unless you lay emotions upon them. They're just terms. It's like saying straight or gay. Those are not weighted terms unless you apply the weight. But people were upset about being called straight in the early days of the gay pride movement. Why? Because gay people were reclaiming that word as their own. So no longer was it being seen as a slur. They had taken ownership of it. And so the straight community got upset when the gay community said, well, we're gay and you're straight. And again, because they were the outlier group, they were the group that was taking agency away from the straight community, the straight people were like, no, you can't call me that. That's offensive. Because what the straight people and what the cisgender people want, at least the ones who are bigots, is they want to be called normal. But normal is a really slippery word. It can mean a million different things in a million different contexts. And of course, when bigots say normal, they mean who I am. Because as far as they're concerned, they are the measurement by which all humanity should be gauged, which is particularly helpful when the person in question is also a white nationalist, like Cisgender Musk is. So I think that we should make sure that he never forgets that word. That for the rest of his life, it haunts him. It hounds him. Because he deserves that. He deserves to have it pointed out to him that he is an absolutely unquestionable moron. That I mean, and I apologize for morons the world over for associating you with Cisgender Musk, but he is. And yes, I realize that had a clinical definition at one time, but realize that in colloquial language in today's world, it doesn't. But yeah, he's an idiot. And he's a bigot. And he's a white nationalist, which isn't really surprising, seeing as, he was raised in a family of emerald oligarchs with actual slaves. So I guess him being a racist isn't much of a stretch now, is it? But yeah, he's an idiot, and we should never let him forget that. It's important. And I don't think that any of these folks that are claiming cis and cisgender are slurs are ever going to understand it. They're just not going to get it because they don't want to. They don't feel they need to. Remember, for them, they're normal. And the trans people, of course, are the outliers. They're the hated outside group. They're those that must be excluded, as opposed to trans just being a descriptor. Just like cis is a descriptor. So I'm calling out Cisgender Musk as an idiot. And I hope that all of you will join me.